Councilwoman Shanklin is not removed from office as a result of this trial.
And here at 6 o'clock, a guilty verdict for Barbara Shanklin, but as you just heard, she is keeping her seat on council. Some council members say they have never been so embarrassed. It is all new this morning.
And a plea to the public. The family of a man killed while on his way home from work speaking out later this morning.
And good Thursday morning, Kentuckiana. I'm Rachel Platt.
And I'm Brooke Katz. Sandy and Kelsey are off today. Rachel helping me hold down the fort this morning. It is Thursday, August 1st, which means back to school for lots of kids in the area. This is a live look from Jeffersonville High School.
The lights are on. Exactly. No one there maybe just yet, except for just a few people. Classes start a little over an hour from now, and our Gene Kang is out there. We're going to talk to him in just a minute. And how is that first day of school forecast looking, Ben Pine?
Heading back to class, everything is looking pretty good.
65 Watterson to downtown should only take you about 5 minutes. Rachel?
All right, Brooke, thank you so much. And new this morning, the verdict now in for Councilwoman Barbara Shanklin. After 3.5 hours of deliberations, fellow council members find her guilty of misconduct.
There was excusable neglect. She may have violated technically some aspects of the ordinance, but she did not violate the spirit.
Now, that was Shanklin's attorney. She was not there when the verdict was read. It has been more than a week of testimony in the ethics trial against her. Shanklin accused of setting up community programs that only benefited her family. But despite the guilty verdict, not enough council members voted to remove her from office, so she maintains her seat. Her attorney says God is good, but other council members furious by the decision to keep her.
This is going to fracture the community, it's going to fracture this council, and it's going to be a disgrace, and we're embarrassed, and we're so ashamed of the 7 members of what they went through and put this community through.
Again, Shanklin now retaining the seat she has held for 10 years, 13 members of council voting to oust her, one shy of what was needed. All 7 Republicans voted to oust her. All 5 African Americans on the council voted to retain her. Back to school today for thousands of kiddos in southern Indiana. Take a look. Districts starting back up today include New Albany, Floyd County, Greater Clark County Schools, Clarksville Community Schools, South Harrison Community Schools, and West Clark Community Schools. For the rest of the list, we know they're not all up there. Head to WHAS11.com. And WHAS 11's Gene Kang joins us live from Jeffersonville High School. And Gene, have you seen anybody just yet?
Yeah, Rachel, I think I've seen my photographer and myself. That's about it. Nobody here just yet. Jeffersonville High School starts at 7:45 this morning, but I'm sure that early enough there will be some school buses rolling through here as they start their first day of school here with Greater Clark County Schools. Now, that question is, why are they starting so early? We talked to the superintendent about that, as well as many different programs that are kicking off the first day for these classes. Middle school students have a new program called Project Lead the Way. It's a nationally recognized program that offers students project-based learning opportunities in engineering and biomedicine. That's all about hands-on learning. But the big question this morning, why are they starting so early on August 1st?
Sure. As our school year begins, we're implementing what's called a balanced calendar. And what that does is it spreads out the school year over a longer period of time. So it's still students being in school 180 days a year, but there are more breaks during the school year. It shortens the summer so that kids don't lose as much of their knowledge base over the summertime.
And along with that, 7th graders will be introduced to a biomedical program called Medical Detectives, and 8th graders will have something called the Gateway to Technology, dealing hands-on with engineering. So some of those fun new programs for this new calendar year. And once again, you heard from the superintendent, there will be more breaks earlier in the year, about a week or 2 at a time. Out here live at Jeffersonville High School, Gene Kang, WHAS 11 News.
Gene, thank you. 6:05, family members and police are asking for your help solving the homicide of 33-year-old Chris Colbert. Colbert was killed after getting off a TARC bus at Dixie and Oak Streets after returning home from work at WW Cousins. So far, police have not made any arrests. They're holding a news conference at 10 this morning at 18th and Ali in downtown Louisville. If you know anything about this crime, you're asked to call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. A young father has a 50-50 chance of survival after an early morning stabbing Wednesday. It's a story we first brought you as breaking news yesterday on GMK. Police say 19-year-old Dion Green was stabbed at a home on Dutch Key Road. then walked a few blocks before collapsing on the street. His grandmother says a fight broke out at a party where several people ganged up on him. Police arrested 21-year-old Damian McLean in connection with that stabbing. Green was the father of a 5-month-old daughter and set to start his senior year in Valley High School.
And Southern Indiana's accused serial killer William Clyde Gibson, his trial now being delayed until October. It was set to begin in September. Gibson is accused of killing 3 women, Christine Whitus, Stephanie Kirk, and Karen Hodella. Each case will be tried separately, beginning with the death of 75-year-old Christine Whitus. Well, the attorney for the Camp Taylor Fire Department's deputy chief speaking out as the investigation into Steve Atkins' behavior continues. A lawsuit filed by 2 firefighters claims that Atkins created a hostile work environment by sexually harassing the male firefighters and using a racial slur. Atkins and his attorney are denying many of the allegations, though, in that civil suit.
There was physical contact. I believe, from what I know at this point, the physical contact was mutual. There were comments made, but certainly those comments were reciprocated.
Now, the attorney for the 2 firefighters says he will not comment on the pending litigation. Atkins remains on paid administrative leave while this investigation continues.
The time right now, 6:07, 69 degrees outside. The first witnesses taking the stand in a high-profile trial. One of them, the murder victim's father. We're taking you inside Josh Young's trial. Hear that intense testimony.
And a decision expected at any moment. Will one of the highest paid baseball players in the sport ever return to the diamond? A-Rod, accused of doping, and he's not the only one.
And our August 1st looks good. Sunshine, lower 80s later on today after a little morning fog and a temperature right now of 70 degrees. We've got your complete weekend forecast with a little bit of a rain chance in there as well. Our futurecast is helping you plan it out. Coming up next.
6:10 in today's coffee quiz, we're giving away 2 sets of Meyer gift cards and tickets to the National Street Rod Association show. So here is your question. About how many students will enter high school this year? Is it A, 2 million, B, 4 million, or C, 8 million? Just be the 11th or 12th caller right now with the correct answer at 502-582-7227. You aren't eligible if you've won in the last 90 days. The answer and the name of today's winner a little bit later in the show. And of course, the all-important first day of school.
Yeah.
I had on my teacher glasses.
You did.
Getting ready to lecture students.
And you know, we're firing up that bus stop forecast for the first time in a couple of months, and it's an all-new bus stop forecast as well with our new graphic system.
I know, you're liking this. You're having fun over there.
We're having fun with it. So here comes the buses.
Buses in action.
Check that out.
Wait, there's nobody in those buses.
You got to fill them up, man.
Where are the kids?
68 degrees as we head out. Welcome back to school.
In 6 minutes. Rachel?
All right, Brooke, thank you. Well, Republicans in Congress will make a new push today to cut off funding for President Obama's health care law. And some of them say they are ready to shut down the federal government to do it. Dave Cassidy joins us from our Washington bureau with the latest. And Dave, I guess not all Republicans, though, think it's a good idea?
That's right, Rachel. Several senators say trying to shut down the government over Obamacare is, quote, silly, foolish, and the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And those senators are Republicans. Many other Republicans, though, say the best way to end Obamacare is to cut off funding for it. And if Congress doesn't pass a budget by the end of next month, the federal government would shut down. So some Tea Party Republicans say Congress should refuse to okay any budget, which includes money for Obamacare. And if the president refuses to go along, he would get the blame for the government shutting down. Texas Senator Ted Cruz says if we want to stop this train wreck from hitting hardworking families, the time to do so is now. But Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann says she's not sure her fellow Republicans have the guts to fight funding for Obamacare. Arizona Senator John McCain says threatening to do this is a bad idea because, quote, most Americans are really tired of these kinds of shenanigans. And Oklahoma Republican Tom Coburn says even if most of the rest of the government shut down by law, funding for Obamacare would continue. Rachel?
Haven't heard shenanigans in a while. All right, Dave, thank you so much.
No.
Keep us posted. Appreciate it.
6:16 baseball fans waiting to see if the league will ban one of its biggest stars for life. New York Yankee Alex Rodriguez is expected to receive the harshest penalty out of almost 24 players accused of using performance-enhancing drugs. This despite that A-Rod never failed a drug test. The league does claim it has enough evidence, though, to make sure A-Rod never returns to the diamond, but his legal team says it will appeal any suspension.
Well, Major League Baseball is going to try to ban Alex Rodriguez for life, but if they do, they know they're going to get an incredible fight with the union.
Meantime, Rodriguez hasn't played since last year. He's recuperating from an injury at a Yankees training facility. His attorney says they will appeal any suspension. That bombshell decision expected at any time now.
And now to local sports. A UK national champ is in town today helping local kids learn the game. Derek Anderson leading a 3-day basketball camp at Doss High School that starts today. He says it will teach young players the fundamentals of the sport and how to think and play like a champion. Derek Anderson was a key part of the Kentucky's 1996 championship basketball team. He then went on to a decade-long career in the NBA.
And the NBA is coming to Rupp Arena for a preseason game. It's happening the day after Big Blue Madness, October 19th. Former Wildcat John Wall of the Washington Wizards taking on Anthony Davis, Darius Miller, and the New Orleans Pelicans. Tickets go on sale at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. 2 big days there at Rupp Arena.
From madness to insanity.
Exactly.
It just keeps escalating there in Lexington. It is now 6:18 and 70 degrees on this Thursday. George Zimmerman back in the news again, what he was caught doing in Texas.
Plus, a member of the GMK family on the mend. Kelsey Starks is live with us on the phone, giving us a much anticipated update on how she's doing.
Can't wait to hear from her live and in person. And wake up, kiddos. Time for many of you to go back to school. Ooh, the lights are on now on the bus.
They're flashing.
Yeah, covering Arctic Springs, Duncan, Jeffersonville, and your neighborhood. You're watching Good Morning Kentuckiana.
I got a Letterman sweater with the letter in front. I got for fun.
6:21 on your Thursday morning, and welcome back to school, Clark and Floyd County.
It's a 13-minute drive. Rachel?
All right, Brooke, thank you. Hey, now the answer for today's coffee quiz. It is B, 4 million. That's how many students will enter high school this year. Guess who knew that? The winners are Jacob Riddle of Salem and Beverly Detner of Corydon. Congratulations, and we thank you so much for watching. Hey, spotted again, George Zimmerman, 3 weeks after he was acquitted of killing Trayvon Martin. He was pulled over for speeding in Texas over the weekend and told officers he had a gun.
Just take it easy. Just don't play. Go ahead and shut your glove compartment and don't play with your firearm, okay?
Now, the officer let Zimmerman go with just a warning. The Florida Watch captain has been trying to keep a low profile since a jury found him not guilty of second-degree murder. He was in the news just recently as well after saving that family trapped in their overturned vehicle in Florida.
The time right now is 6:25, 69 degrees outside. Good morning, Kentuckiana. It's a piece of evidence that could change former Indiana State Trooper David Camm's third murder trial. What's up for discussion today with jury selection now just 2 weeks away?
And a former UK star arrested for attacking a homeless man. Those shocking charges against him.
And here's a look at your primetime lineup. Start here at 8 with Wipeout, followed at 9 by Motive. Then at 10, it's Rookie Blue. Then join us for 11 at 11 and get tonight's top stories and tomorrow's complete forecast, all in the first 11 minutes.
And of course, it didn't take 2 seconds to look over there and know that was my boy laying there.
And here at 6:30, emotional testimony from the father of a young murder victim. The father of Trey Zwicker takes the stand. What he had to say about his son's relationship with his stepbrother, Josh Young, who is accused in his murder.
Good morning, Kentuckiana. I'm Brooke Katz.
And I'm Rachel Platt. Andy on vacation, and Kelsey, as you know, continuing to recover from salmonella. We're going to talk with her on the phone live in just a few minutes. It is Thursday, August 1st. Cue that back-to-school music, Sam.
Gotta love that. What a way to start the morning.
Welcome back to school. It's the first day back in class for many of you in southern Indiana.
We're live at Jeffersonville High School, waiting to talk to school officials, and I'll be tracking traffic with all those buses hitting the roads here in just a few minutes. We saw that bus depot pic just a minute ago, but first, Ben Pine has his eye on that all-important back-to-school bus stop forecast. Ben, how's it looking out there for those kids?
Well, you know that awesome music doesn't make going back to school any better.
we thought it did.
No,
I'm excited.
Some are excited, some probably are not excited like I used to be. 70 degrees heading back to school.
64 from 265 to the Sherman Mitten is only about a 3-minute drive. Rachel?
All right, Brooke, thank you. And topping our news this half hour, the father of murder victim Trey Zwicker takes the stand in the trial of Josh Young, accused in the beating death of his stepbrother. Young is 17 and being tried as an adult for helping in that beating death of 14-year-old Trey Zwicker. Young's father, Josh Gowker, pleaded guilty to murdering Zwicker last week. Zwicker was his stepson. Terry Zwicker told the court Wednesday that he was always concerned about his son living in the same home as Josh Gowker, who married Trey's mother. But Terry Zwicker says his son didn't seem to have any problems with Josh Young.
Wasn't nothing bad, or he didn't have any problems with him. He just didn't know how to take him.
Now, Gowker first told police that Young acted alone in the murder, but eventually changed his story and said he himself acted alone. Gowker, as you know, was sentenced to life in prison last week. And you can watch all the testimony live in the Josh Young trial. We're going to be streaming the entire trial on WHAS11.com and on our mobile apps from WHAS 11.
6:33, an important pretrial hearing for the Indiana state trooper accused of killing his wife and 2 children. Today, we could learn if a crucial piece of evidence will be used in his 3rd murder trial. David Cam has been convicted twice for the deaths of his wife and 2 children in 2000. Both convictions, though, overturned on appeal. At issue now, whether blood on the former Indiana state trooper's shirt came from direct contact with his family's blood or if it was caused by Cam being nearby when they were shot. Jury selection is set to start on August 12th. Former UK national champion Terrence Jones is out of jail this morning after he was arrested for stomping on a homeless man while leaving a nightclub. It happened in Jones's hometown of Portland, Oregon. He pleaded not guilty on a harassment charge after police say they witnessed the incident early Wednesday morning. The victim received a minor leg injury. Jones was a member of that 2012 Kentucky national championship team. He's now with the Houston Rockets.
And in a story you'll only see on GMK, Senate challenger Allison Lundergan Grimes has a 1-point lead over Mitch McConnell in a new national poll that was released this morning. The Democratic-leaning group Public Policy Polling found that 45% of the 1,200 people it surveyed would vote for Kentucky's Secretary of State, Allison Lundergan Grimes. 44% would vote for longtime Senator Mitch McConnell. Factoring in the poll's margin of error, the race is essentially in a dead heat. The poll was conducted before the Republican Matt Bevin entered the race last week. In the meantime, about half of the people who took the poll said they disapprove of the way Senator McConnell is doing his job.
6:35, new details expected out today about the construction of the new bridge for the downtown crossing. This week, Walsh construction crews are starting to build the foundations for that new bridge, and today they're sharing those plans during a public news conference this morning. The new bridge will be built with 9 piers, 4 on land, 5 in the water, and WHAS 11 is your source for everything related to the Ohio River Bridges project. You can follow developments on WHAS11.com, on Twitter, Facebook, and right here on television. Also this morning, a second smaller span of the old Milton-Madison Bridge is set to be demolished. The 550-foot long section of the bridge will be brought tumbling down into the Ohio River using controlled explosions right around 9 o'clock. This comes a week after that massive crowd turned out to watch the first section of the bridge come down. The project to replace the bridge connecting Madison, Indiana and Milton, Kentucky is expected to be completed by the end of the year.
And all new overnight, Metro Councilwoman accused of abusing her authority gets to keep her job even though she's found guilty. And some council members are outraged. We have reaction in just minutes.
Plus, Jean Kang taking us back to school this morning. Jean?
What happened to summer vacation? It's already over in Greater Clark County for the schools and also many other southern Indiana school districts. We're going to talk about why they start so early and what's new for this school year next in the 11 to go.
And we've got some August 1st sunshine on the way, low 80s this afternoon. That's after some morning clouds and some fog to watch out for. Some dense fog advisories over much of Kentucky this morning. Your full forecast and planning out your weekend with Futurecast next.
Busy day with so much going on, especially for you in traffic. We've got back to school, but also that demolition part 2.
That's right, part 2 of that demolition. And you know what? If you don't get across the Ohio River before 9 o'clock, you're going to be in big trouble, especially if you're just going from one side to the other. You're talking about adding about 45 minutes to your commute.
It's really difficult
You've
to
got
figure
to
the
go
way around.
all the way around. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. That's how I'm going to help you out this morning. But the good news is right now, things are looking good outside. We have a live look from our MCM cam there.
And then through the evening, temperatures slowly dropping off through the 70s. So some good baseball weather as well. We've got your 7-day forecast. We'll look through much of next week coming up in your 11 to go. Guys?
All right. Thank you, Ben. 6:43 right now. All new details overnight about the brutal conditions those Cleveland kidnapping victims endured for a decade. This as their alleged captor heads to court to learn his fate.
Plus, an update from Kelsey Starks herself. We're talking with her on the telephone in just a moment, live on the phone, about her incredible journey.
6:46, she helps all of us start our day right here on GMK, and boy, have we missed her.
Absolutely. Our gal, Kelsey Starks, is on the mend after spending 8 days in the hospital battling salmonella. She's joining us on the phone right now with an update. You get to hear it from her. Kelsey, first of all, everybody out there wants to know, how are you feeling?
Oh, thank you so much. Everybody's been so nice to ask. I'm feeling a lot better. Really, each and every day it gets a little bit easier. So I'm doing very well right now.
Have they traced what actually caused the salmonella?
You know, that's crazy. They have not. I've done several interviews with the health department and my doctors, and they're still trying to trace it, but still no cause of it, and so that's kind of been frustrating.
Yeah, because I know what
I'd like to know.
We all started quizzing you. Did you eat this? Did you eat this? Because this is different from that cyclospora outbreak that we've been following, that stomach bug. This was salmonella, which is different.
That's right. A lot of people, said, have you heard about the mystery stomach bug? And I did the same thing, but my doctors tested me for that, and that's not what it was. It was a strain of salmonella, and there are apparently a whole lot of different strains of it, and so this particular strain they're still trying to trace.
Well, of course, the big question I think all of us want to know and all the viewers want to know, when are we going to get you back here?
Well, I'm hoping for Monday to come back. I've still got to get it cleared with my doctors, but everything's really progressing well, and I'm feeling a lot better every day, and I'm just trying to build back my strength. Really, I get tired easily, and but hope to be back Monday. I miss you guys too.
Well, we miss you, and I know it was interesting to me because your doctor had told you for each day you were in the hospital, it takes so much time to get back to full stamina. So we know you got to take it easy when you get back here. We just wanted to say we send our love, as do the viewers, and you take care of yourself because you're the most important part of that recovery, Kelsey.
Well, that's very nice, and everybody's been so great, and you guys have been great filling in, and I really appreciate all the help because it really makes recovery easier having a lot of help back there.
You let your mama spoil you for a while.
That's right. You stay there and you take it easy and you let mama do all the work.
Exactly.
Okay.
And her husband who's been doing a lot too. All right.
Yeah, they've been taking good care of me.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. Good to hear your voice.
Thanks, guys.
It is 6:48 right now and 69 degrees. And coming up in your 11 to go, St. Matthews residents on edge after that suspicious package is found in a local park, an evacuation, and what we know this morning.
And thousands of kids in our viewing area heading back to school this morning. We are live with everything you need to know to get ready for that first day of class.
No rain in that back to school forecast, but this weekend, well, a different story. You might have fog, though, this morning as well. Then 7-day forecast in your 11 to go.
I've never in my life been so embarrassed to be part of an organization. This organization, the Metro Council, is better than this.
In today's 11 to go, Barbara Shanklin found guilty of misconduct by Metro Council, but she will keep her seat, and not everyone's happy about it. It was a close vote, and we have reaction coming up.
Gene Kang is getting Indiana all set for back to school. Brooke is going to track traffic for us in your morning commute in just a moment. But first, Ben, with your forecast, some fog, but overall pretty good.
Yeah, it's a little hazy. Watch out for some dense fog, especially in central and southern Kentucky.
64 Snyder to the junction. You're looking at about a 13-minute drive. Rachel?
All right. Thank you so much, Brooke. And new this morning, the verdict now in for Councilwoman Barbara Shanklin. After 3.5 hours of deliberations, fellow council members find her guilty of misconduct. Here's reaction from her attorney.
My client was innocent. She was treated unfairly. She was dragged through the mud.
Now, Shanklin was not there when that verdict was read. It has been more than a week of testimony, as you know, in the ethics trial against her. Shanklin accused of setting up community programs that only benefited her family. But despite the guilty verdict, not enough council members voted to remove her from office, so she does maintain her seat.
And we showed ourselves tonight to the community as somebody who just can't seem to pull ourselves together, and there were 18 of us that wanted to. That's just pitiful.
Again, Shanklin now retaining the seat she has held for 10 years, 13 members of council voting to oust her, one shy of what was needed. All 7 Republicans voted to oust her. All 5 African Americans on the council did vote to retain her. Get your backpacks ready. It is back to school this morning for students in southern Indiana. Districts starting back up today include New Albany, Floyd County, Greater Clark County Schools, Clarksville Community Schools, South Harrison Community Schools, and West Clark Community. For the entire list of everybody heading back today, we know there are more, WHAS11.com. And WHAS 11's Jean Kang has been live at Jeffersonville High School. And Jean, any sign of any students just yet? It's getting close to start time.
Signs of life. School starts here at Jeffersonville High School at 7:45 this morning. The cars are starting to show up, and those school buses as well. This is the first day of class for Greater Clark County Schools, as well as many of those southern Indiana school districts, as you mentioned, Rachel, and a lot of them are waking up, of course, a little bit tired this morning on the first day. Well, there are many new programs here. Middle school students have a program called Project Lead the Way. It's a nationally recognized program that offers students project-based learning opportunities in engineering and biomedicine. It's all about being hands-on for those middle schoolers. But for the high school and Greater Clark County schools, they have 180 days on their calendar with 2-week breaks in between to try to retain more of that knowledge so they don't burn that off from summer vacation. But what's the advantage of starting the school year so early?
It'll improve attendance because people will know that they have to make it through 9 weeks. And at the end of 9 weeks, they get 2 weeks off. And we hope that just knowing that, whether you're a student or you're an adult, hopefully that will be a positive for them.
And a positive, those new programs for the middle schoolers, 7th and 8th graders. The 7th graders will have a program called Medical Detectives, and the 8th graders, Gateway to Technology, with focuses on the engineering. So that's exciting for this school year. But even though they start so early on August 1st, the great thing is that they have a 2-week break for spring and fall. Out here live at Jeffersonville High School, Jean Kang, WHAS 11 News.
All right, thank you, Jean. 6:57 today, the man who pleaded guilty last week to kidnapping 3 Cleveland women and holding them in his house for a decade is expected to speak at his sentencing hearing. It's anticipated that a judge will sentence Ariel Castro to life in prison plus 1,000 years. Meantime, we're learning more about the conditions those women lived in. A court memo with details from their diaries describes the use of chains and how one victim was kept locked in a vehicle for 3 days while Castro had visitors. Much more on this developing story on Good Morning America.
And more local news. Everything is back to normal at Brown Park this morning after a suspicious package put St. Matthews residents on edge late yesterday. Sky 11 over the scene as authorities were investigating. As a precaution, the park next to Baptist East Hospital was evacuated. Nearby streets were closed. Metro Police telling us, though, that package turned out not to be an explosive.
Registration begins today for the Kentucky Derby Festival Marathon and Mini Marathon. The largest annual day of road racing in Kentucky is set for April 19th of next year. Early registration lasts for 2 weeks, and new this year, you have a chance to win a reduced registration price by following clues on the Derby Festival's Facebook page. To sign up, of course, we have you linked up on our website, WHAS11.com.
The marathon begins for students. The first day of school for the school year, right?
Yeah, it
we
does.
hope they've trained well.
Yeah, at least we've got some good weather heading back. Watching for some areas of fog out there this morning. That'll clear up, and mostly sunny sky today, a high of 83. So not too hot for our August 1st, and then gradually warming up. You can see some upper 80s by late in that 7-day forecast. 86 tomorrow and dry. A chance for a few showers and thunderstorms late in the day, Saturday into Saturday night, but Sunday and Monday drying back up. So the weekend's not too bad, and looking forward to some more pool and lake weather.
Yeah, no pool weather for those kids, though, unfortunately for them.
Just
those
for the
buses
weekend.
rolling out right now,
and
so that's good.
Yeah, we want to leave you with these pictures. This is over in Jeffersonville, the first day of school. Don't forget, JCPS, you go back August 20th.